From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
You want to go where to buy a new refrigerator? Steve's A to Z Appliance in Cottonwood? In Cottonwood? Just a 10-minute drive. And they'll save us money. New and used, honest, reliable, factory-trained repair service and parts, and they'll save us money. And dispose of this thing? We gotta make the short drive to Steve's A to Z. Thanks, hon.
Steve's A to Z Appliance, front and main streets in Cottonwood. Drive a little, save a lot.
Well, turning out to be another gorgeous day out there, even out towards the coast. Here's Crescent City Harbor District, just a couple of high clouds off in the distance, but otherwise looking at mainly sunny skies, at least up into the northern parts of the North Coast in Del Norte County. Here's a look at Lake Oroville, North Forebay. We do have mainly clear skies out there, a couple of passing high clouds here and there for parts of the valley. Taking a look at Lassen Park, this is the south entrance. Still a lot of cloud cover for some of the higher elevations, and we'll probably keep those clouds around for the rest of the day. But we have one more mild and dry day for all of Northern California today. But that changes by tomorrow with the wet weather and cooler weather moving on in. Snow levels could drop to as low as 3,000 feet over the weekend, but probably on average around 3,500 feet. In this cool and unsettled weather pattern, it is going to stick around through most likely all of next week. That's the next storm system. The ridge of high pressure that's been in place for the last several days has finally broken down, and now the storm door is open. That's going to allow this first storm system to really come in and have its biggest impact. Behind it are many other storms that will be impacting our weather through the weekend and through a good portion of next week as well. So there you can see some of the clouds that we do have in the higher elevations in particular. Some of those clouds will spill over into the valley, but mainly sunny skies, and of course some clouds out along the coast. But the key factor is still dry for the rest of the day today and even tonight. But by late tonight, early tomorrow morning, the leading edge of that cold front moves into the coast. Now, what we're seeing at this point, number one, high snow levels, 5,000 to 6,000 feet. Number two, rain will be heavy at times with gusty winds out there as well. There could even be a little bit of hail associated with this. We take you into the morning hours around 8 a.m. Now we're seeing the leading edge of that front moving into the north end of the valley. Redding starting to see some showers here by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, but the heaviest rainfall at this point now looks to be in Trinity County and western Siskiyou County. We take you into about 10 o'clock on Friday morning. Snow levels still fairly high, 5,000 to 6,000 feet. All of the valley most likely looking at moderate to even heavy rainfall at times. Gusty winds will be associated with this, maybe even some lightning strikes as well. Not a lot of blue on the map, again indicating those high snow levels. But at this point you'll notice, dry for the eastern mountains. We're on the back side of this cold front for the north coast, which means more in the way of scattered showers, maybe some isolated thunderstorms by 10 a.m. on Friday. Now we take you on noon on Friday. Now that heaviest rainfall is to the east of the valley, just hitting places like Bernie, Shingletown, for example. Alturas and Susanville, still fairly dry at this point at the noon hour on Friday. But now scattered showers, maybe some thunderstorms for the valley by noon, and of course to the west of that as well. Let's take you to Friday, 5 p.m. That cold front then slowly pushes eastward. Now the heaviest rainfall is in the eastern mountains. Alturas, still around Bernie, not to mention Susanville. Snow levels still high, 5,000 to 6,000 feet. On the back edge of this is the valley, not to mention the north coast. In fact, we're probably seeing a bit of a lull in the activity at this point. But as we take you into midnight, Friday night, into early Saturday morning, we are now seeing another disturbance pass through. Showers and thunderstorms most likely along the coast, still dry in the valley, and things, fairly dry even off in the eastern mountains. Again, that's midnight, so that's Friday night, early Saturday morning, but notice the snow levels. The colder air is in place now, and we've got snow levels between 3,000 and 4,000 feet. We take you to Saturday at about 5 a.m. Now that disturbance is moving through the valley. Could see some showers, could see some isolated thunderstorms in there as well. Once again, snow levels between 3,000 and 4,000 feet. We take you into Saturday around the afternoon. We continue to see that flow around the area of low pressure up to our north, continue to feed in those disturbances and give us continued chances for scattered showers. And as I mentioned, maybe even some thunderstorms here for your Saturday. And some of those thunderstorms could get quite strong if we get enough clearing through the afternoon to give us what we call that convective thunderstorm activity here, which could make for some more thunderstorms. But again, snow levels still fairly low, at least for this time of the year, between 3,000 and 4,000 feet. So this will continue. And now once that system moves out Saturday, we'll still see some activity Sunday morning before it starts to kind of maybe taper off a bit here by Sunday afternoon. But looking at the rainfall totals, this will all depend on who sees the thunderstorms, that is, and who doesn't. But I think on average, anywhere from about, say, half an inch to maybe a little over an inch for parts of the valley. And I do expect to most likely see an inch or more for the North Coast. And typically, we usually see less in the way of that water content off to the north and to the east. Now, let's take a look at the snow. Here's where you got to really take into account that, you have to look at the forecast models and go, all right, we're going to have to kind of adjust things a little bit here, all right? So these are numbers that are coming directly from the forecast model data. I have to mention this. We'll probably be closer to a rain-snow mix in the Mount Shasta area. So it'll be very iffy as to whether or not we get any measurable snowfall in Mount Shasta. If we can keep it in the form of snowflakes instead of just that mix, yeah, 2 to 4 inches is a possibility. I think it's an even slimmer chance in Dunsmuir. But we could definitely see some snow, and most likely even more than 1 to 2 inches out in Chester here, because now you're at 4,500 feet there, and most likely seeing those snow levels down that low. Weaverville, nope, don't see it happening, not even a mix, just all in the form of rain. Most likely in the form of rain for Etna as well, but I do expect to maybe see some snowflakes around the El Turris area. Let's take a look at the long range now, and you can see Saturday and Sunday. So as I mentioned, by Sunday afternoon, we may start to see a bit of a break. Then we go into your Monday and Tuesday of next week. We've got more disturbances coming on in. Let's take you through all of next week. There's another system next Tuesday, next Wednesday. We take you into next Thursday and Friday. That's this system coming in into the end of next week and into that next weekend. Now, the timing and the intensity of all of these storms is going to change as we progress over the next few days. But really the main thing I want to illustrate is that we're seeing this pattern very consistent over the last few days, that we've got one storm after another moving on in, and that's a pattern that will most likely last through the end of next week, if not longer. All right, so here's what we have today. Temperatures right around 70, give or take, for the valley. In the upper 50s to low 60s for the higher elevations, mid 60s in Trinity County, about the same for the inland areas as the valley, and then temperatures in the upper 50s to low 60s out along the coast. All right, so let's take a look at your valley neighborhood 7-day outlook for Redding, Red Bluff, and Chico. Do have that chance for thunderstorms in there for tomorrow and Saturday. I think better chances, though, will be on Saturday, especially if we can get some of that clearing to give us what we call that convective thunderstorm activity here. Off and on showers continue through Wednesday and really extending beyond that into the end of next week. Could even see some thunderstorm activity not only Saturday, but maybe even Friday as well. Slimmer chances inland, but otherwise looking at that wet weather, snow levels will drop as we go into the weekend before they start to slowly increase as we take you into early next week. Taking a look at Siskiyou, Modoc, and the Eastern Mountains. There, of course, you can see temperatures dropping as we do go into the weekend and even into early next week, with that continued chance for off and on snow flurries, a mix, and even some showers through at least the middle of next week, if not longer.